I want to know what the hell is going on.
3, 2, 1.
Perfect.
I actually heard everybody's clap today.
Someone was off.
I heard you all this time, but it was so delayed. Oh my god, it's going to be a horrible day. No.
Speak for yourself. I am on day 2 of vacation.
Oh, you fucker.
How many more days you get?
I don't go back to work till next Monday, so a whole week.
How dare you? I just came back from vacation, and I just have to say, how dare you? How dare you?
How dare you
You
have a
throw
good
this in
time
my
when
face
I'm
like
not?
this. Yeah, how dare you?
How dare you go to Cedar Point when I'm unable to go? Cedar Point should just close until I'm ready to go.
Well, feel free to know that I will not be going to Cedar Point. Ludington
that's sad.
and Aquiac Falls are on the list, but not Cedar Point.
And some of our listeners are going, what the fuck's a Cedar Point?
Yeah,
It's a roller coaster place.
And
I
even
don't
more
even
of them
know
are
what that
going,
is.
what the fuck is Aquiac Falls?
Some of your hosts are going, what the fuck is Cedar Point? Because I have no fucking clue.
It's an amusement park.
Yeah, just imagine the best roller coaster place that
Roller
you go
coaster?
to. Yeah, roller coaster. They coat the rollers. The best roller coaster place you go to, Cedar Point, is probably just a little bit better than that. It's just roller coasters, pretty much. Well, I mean, they got new stuff now. But
Is it a local
it's
thing?
number one claim. Well, I mean, it's in Ohio, so
It's more local
not
to you
take
than it is to me.
this
So yeah.
Do not take this
Yeah,
to be an
it's a
endorsement of
Midwestern for
Ohio, though, because Ohio is still...
Well, welcome to Screen Share and Chill, where we ostensibly talk about movies.
Especially
Do
to
we
our
though?
fans in Ohio.
I'm Kelly,
I'm Keith.
I'm Jamie.
and today we are finishing out, if we can get this in under 1 hour, we are going to finish out the Matrix series, or at least our perusal of the Matrix series, with Matrix Resurrections.
If we don't get this
Resurrections.
out in 1 hour, I might have to jump off the podcasting bridge, because I am over the Matrix-ness of everything.
So you don't want to do Animatrix next? We can do like the spin-offs and stuff. There's a few of them.
The Matrix has taken over my life, like the Lord of the Rings has taken over my life, and I am over both of them.
Yeah.
The irony is that like we do so much research, or at least from my end, and I'm sure you guys are going through similar, is that I do so much research when we're recording the episodes that my algorithm goes, oh, you want Lord of the Rings stuff? And then it shows it to me 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, a month later, and I'm like,
7 months
bro,
later.
Algorithm. Yeah, I'm done with that show.
Yeah,
that was,
chill.
That was in early March. What are we doing here, buddy?
It's like that work friend that you connect over some specific thing and they keep bringing it up and you're like, yeah, man, cool. That was one time I said that. Sure. You saw me with a Spider-Man t-shirt. It's not, my whole life isn't Spider-Man. Or it's like your aunt, your aunt finds out you like Spider-Man. So when you're 24, you get like a Spider-Man commemorative plate and you're like, gee, thanks.
Yeah. Hi, person I met at a party for 30 seconds in 2009. Let's be friends on Facebook for the rest of our lives.
Right.
Yeah, I had a cousin of mine that ended up with a bunch of cow shit. Well, cow stuff.
Yeah, sure.
One of the instances you got to delineate between stuff and shit. She ended up with a bunch of cow, like, salt and pepper shakers and oven mitts and stuff like that. And I asked her, I'm like, what is it with you and cows? She goes, I don't give a fuck about cows. Somebody bought me a cow thing 1 year for Christmas, and then everybody decided that's what I was collecting. So now I've got a bunch of cow shit.
That's awesome.
Cow stuff.
That's great. I love
But
that.
here's the thing, is that, like, even if there is something that you collect, like, a lot of people are pretty particular about their style, about what they like about it, about what
Yes,
they want
that
from
too.
it.
Uh-huh.
And you get, like, the Americana cows, and then you get, like, the realistic cows, and then you get, like, the stuffed cows, and then you get the cartoon cows.
Yep. And which cows, never mind.
Yeah.
We're gonna, let's move on from the cow discourse. And we, in one breath, we're like, let's keep this episode quick and on the ball. And then we're like, let's talk about cows.
What the fuck is it with you?
As if any of the three of us know anything about fucking cows.
What don't you fucking understand?
Hey, I grew up near cow farms. I'm pretty sure I have some qualifications.
Are you professional or not?
You got me on. I don't even know. There are different
Yes.
types of cows, I'm sure, but why are we still talking about cows?
Welcome to our podcast, The Sidetrack.
I like milk. Drink a lot of milk.
Yes, I like chocolate milk too. I
And
just don't know which
cheese?
cows to.
Yeah, cheese is good.
Cheese is good.
Burgers.
Cheese is very good.
Burgers are great.
So Matrix Resurrections
Fuck's sake, man, you're amateur.
it came out many years later after Matrix 3. What was it?
It's close to 20 years,
almost? Yeah, and obviously everybody looks really old and nobody can run around anymore, so it was largely laughed at. No, I think it got a better public reaction than the last two movies, if my experience, like, you guys were around on social media and stuff, that it seemed like everybody kind of liked it. That watched it, right?
I didn't see any, negative, huge backlash or anything.
I mean, I remember for 2 and 3 hearing a lot of bullshit and people upset about it. I don't remember hearing that much. I remember hearing a lot of people being pleasantly surprised with this one. So, I think we were all kind of pleasantly, hopefully, what is it called? Cautiously optimistic. Cautiously optimistic going into this movie.
I like that you almost said hope-timistic, and that should be a new thing.
Hope-timistic, yeah.
I think
that's
that
a fantasy
describes us
word,
better.
much like having hope. And what?
I think that describes us better. We're hope-timistic, not optimistic.
Yeah. We don't actually believe things will get better, but we like to hope they will get better.
Exactly.
That's perfect, yeah. Optimism.
So it had a budget similar to the last couple movies of, what was it, 190 million? It looks like a little bit more than the last two, but not it didn't break the bank. I say this as somebody, as if I could afford an extra 40 million.
It's also technically probably a lot cheaper considering the inflation and, the 20 years of costs rising. If it's only $30 million more than the last one, that's actually probably a cheaper movie than the last one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the special effects back then, they only spent, 50 million on 90 minutes worth of special effects. This one, they had to spend, 50 million on 5 minutes worth of special effects. That's why they cut to a lot more practical effects, because just things, the price of shit anymore is just too high. It's too damn high.
Yeah.
And according to the box office, according to the box office receipts, they made about 159 million. So they actually even lost money, like literally lost money, not studio ways of saying they lost money. But that could be probably accredited to the fact that this came out as a dual release. It came out on streaming services and in the theater at the same time.
Yes.
So that's got to skew numbers.
Absolutely. I'm certain that it made money for people signing up to pay for HBO Max or whatever. You know what I mean? That's how you...
Yeah, but that's never taken into account when they do a retro on it. They're like, oh, look, it did horribly in the theaters. And I'm like, because everybody watched it at fucking home.
But they caught on.
Why are we counting theater numbers the same?
They caught on because you don't get that anymore. There are very few movies that get dual releases. Pretty much everything big is a theater release, and it's months before it comes out on streaming now.
Well, yeah, because they got to prop up the theater industry.
It was also a COVID practice, because people were still afraid of going to the movies and large gatherings and whatnot. So that's the people who crunch the numbers. They know. You know what I mean? The people at Warner Brothers, HBO, they have the numbers of what it brought into streaming and what it did, and so somebody's aware of that. And there's sequels that are happening, so I think it probably did okay altogether.
There's more sequels that are happening.
Yep. There's more sequels, so this will be unfinished.
Yes, there is a Matrix 5 supposedly coming out next year or something like that. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to talk about bullet time.
So that's that dead horse in the corner that they're just going to keep beating.
Yeah.
Got it.
I think I heard a noise out of it last time we squaz its lungs. It made a little wheezing noise, so I think it's still alive. We need to hit it a couple more times. Capitalism, baby. We got to get every last fucking penny out of that goddamn dead horse that we can.
Yep. Well, it's still alive, so it's not dead
in my
yet.
mind, I'm seeing kids ride jungle gym, and it's just the dead horse corpse with a banner over it that kids can climb on.
$5.
$5 a minute. And the kids are going, yay! One kid puts his hand through the rib cage and pulls it out. It's covered in goop and maggots.
Why do you do this?
Anyways, happy thoughts, happy subjects.
Yep, you went too far.
Dear listener, are you eating your breakfast right now? How's that visual I just gave you?
I'm not even eating, and that visual made me gag a little.
If you're eating your breakfast while listening to our podcast, I question your choices that led you here anyway.
All right, you got any more tidbits?
I don't really have a lot of trivia. There is a ton of trivia. Lana Wachowski, loaded this thing up with Easter eggs and nods to stuff, and it was very much more tipping the cap. It was very obvious. It was part of the meta narrative, so like it feels like it would be exhaustive to go through all list of the little tidbits and little, ooh, look at that, and oh, that's just like the first movie, and yada yada. So I say we just get right on into talking about the movie itself.
All right, well, let's start off as we do by talking about the good. What did you like about this movie?
To be honest, a lot. I enjoyed quite a few bits about this movie. Not to tip my hand, because there are some things I didn't like as well, but as far as my good list, I mean, there were several moments where I was generally like smiling, eating my popcorn, watching the movie. That Michael Jackson in the theater gif, that was me watching a lot of this movie. I was having a good time with it.
Well, one of the first things that I thought was cool, this is a very, very slight thing, but I clocked that I recognized one of the agents. Jamie, are you fist fighting your microphone again?
Yes, I am. No, I hadn't plugged in my computer, so I needed to do that real quick. I thought I did, but I didn't, so I had to plug that in.
Okay.
I was like, do we pause it and ask her if she needs help, or what do we do?
Buddy, can you take that outside? That would be a good drop for that clip. That was
right,
exactly my attitude.
Jamie has won the war against Agent Mike.
Yeah, we think. Sounds like he's coming back for round two. Okay, so the agent, like I think I said while we were watching, I was like, is that guy from the originals? And I looked it up, and sure enough, I believe Agent Johnson was from The Matrix Reloaded, and he reprised his role in this. Which I was surprised I was able to see, because they all kind of look the same. You know, it's a very particular type of square jawed.
Racist.
Yep,
man.
all agents, they look the same. You know,
are you saying all white guys look the same?
You know?
Jesus, man, you are a white guy
with their square jaws and their black shades. You know,
spiky haircuts.
Oh, that reminds me of the fact that Mike, one of our listeners, Mike, saying when he had seen a picture of me and something, he goes, "Man, I was so surprised to find out that you were white." And I'm like, me? And he's like, yeah, I always imagined you as a black guy. And I'm like, oh God, no, I'm like pale, transparent white. Like I'm Irish white. Like,
I
can see through me on a sunny day white. All right, Jamie, give me one of yours.
All right. I have to start off with the disclaimer that, to be fair, after 3 movies, I really didn't give a shit about any of the Matrix anymore. I was like, whatever. If I live in the Matrix, I live in the Matrix.
I love the honor.
But the first thing I noticed was that the fake Trinity, the game Trinity's outfit was badass. Like that lace up, pleather, glowy, shiny. That was just badass, and I loved it. And I think all of Trinity's...
I didn't even notice that it was any different.
Oh, it was...
I mean, I could tell it was a different actor, but I didn't know the outfit was different.
Oh, yeah, because it had, like, lace-ups all the way up the back and the front, and it was just awesome. And I loved it.
Nice.
And it should have been her outfit from the beginning, so that makes sense. The sensible fighting shots, they weren't long. They did, at least in the beginning, they didn't take forever. They were quick fights, and then they moved on to something else, which was one of our big complaints about the last 2 films, so... Those were huge wins for me right off the get-go.
Yeah, the fights felt less indulgent.
Yes.
Than they did in the last 2. They felt like they had a bit more purpose. I don't know. Maybe it ties into the fact that there were parts of the story that I bought into more, so maybe I was just more invested in the outcome, but...
I think there was more story.
I have one exception, but we'll get into that in a different category.
Yeah, I mean, there were moments for sure, but there was more story to this one than the last 2, and it didn't seem so...
I agree.
It wasn't as convoluted, but it was still story. Yeah.
Right.
I appreciated the fact that modal loops in the universe of the Matrix, this modal loop felt like very much just like a basic loop that is used in computer programming. It's used in a lot of other things. What it felt like in the purpose of a virtual reality, it felt like you are putting your programs through an intentional Groundhog Day. Bill Murray Groundhog Day. Yeah. And I thought that's such an interesting way, if you did have learning models, like putting them into, and I'm sure there are a lot of places that already do this. I'm not up to date with what they do with AI, but having them learn from the mistakes by putting them through social interactions like this. And if you get if you could get enough, like 20 different language learning models and they're all building off of each other, I'm super curious how that ends up. So like, if you put 25 AI into a room and you have them all learning off of each other, And then you fast forward 25 years and then you step into the conversation. What the fuck does it sound like? Is it all gibberish? Is it all like yelling at each other? Are they Sieg Heiling and doing the Nazi salute? Like, what the fuck? It's super curious to me. And I think it's an interesting way that they brought Neo, like, that's how he's trying to break out of his prison, is that he's kind of unable to learn something. So he's having his computer try to learn it so he can see what it looks like for them to learn something. And maybe that'll teach him, or I don't know. I thought it's such an interesting meta narrative using a little bit of computer science language and a little bit of like, metaphysical language. I thought it was pretentious without being pretentious. It was fun for me to think about without them trying to beat me over the head with a 500-pound book.
No, I agree with that.
I'm sure this is something that's on all of our lists, so I'm just going to bring it up right now. All the meta marketing, all the jabs at WB.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the talk about bullet time, them referencing themselves and making fun of themselves. I was here for that because, yes, we all thought the same thing. I am so fucking tired of bullet time. Stop showing me bullet time. And they picked up on that.
That's kind of the core of what I really like about this movie is that, one, it turns all that stuff into actually a plot point. Like, that is a plot point of the movie, you know? And it's like an artist having people tell them what their creation is about, and like, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's like Lana's going through the same thing Neo is going through. And it's that's, to me, that's like the heart and the focus of the film. Like, it's like, fuck the Matrix. That's not what this movie is about. This movie is about trying to take charge. Well, yeah, capitalism, but also taking charge and ownership of something that is being controlled outside of your grasp to like the best of your ability, like protecting your baby. So you know what I mean? It's just, it's like this.
Yeah. It is an exact circumstance that very few people in the world can understand.
Right,
like, having a piece of media blow up to be international, worldwide fame, and then having a group of people in a room with you many years later trying to explain to you why your art was good, when you're like, dude, just shut up. You weren't even alive to see it when it came out. Fuck off.
And that allows, that being the plot, allows us to once again have mystery and what the fuck in the Matrix. And that's literally one of the things that they're saying in these marketing meetings is like, it'll blow your mind, you know, serious case of WTF, but like, it allows this to happen again because you're seeing Neo, but then you see his reflection and it's some old guy and someone else sees him as a bald guy, and I'm genuinely going, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what's the story there?
When you said something the first time we saw the bald guy, I kind of remembered a little bit about this, so I wasn't as shocked by it. But I remember when we saw it when we watched it together, you said something like, wait, no, I just saw a bald guy. And the feeling I got from your voice was that you were thinking, did that just glitch out? Did they make a mistake in the movie?
Right.
Like, no. I mean, yes, it is a glitch. It is a mistake, but not the way you're thinking. It's intentional mistake kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. And so that's probably my favorite aspect of this, that, because Matrix 2 and 3, there was no more mystery. It's just, here's more Matrix for you. You know what I mean? That's
yeah.
There was maybe a couple of, that's weird with like the architect and some of that stuff and some cool stuff with Smith copying, but no overall like grandiose sense of what the fuck is going on. And it really got back to me in this movie.
It really pulled me back in when Morpheus, it was Smith, and in the movie, like having that whole argument in Morpheus's head, I guess, and watching him go back through the whole concept of like, it's not real, I have to help get this person out, like that whole Morpheus origin story almost that we got out of it, that pulled me back into the movie. I enjoyed that a lot.
Little note, when they're freeing him, I really love the way like they step through a closet and suddenly he's upside down, like a little handoff from Inception, you know, that sort of a moving environment.
And these portals are not necessarily oriented to your up and down.
Right. Very cool.
I got a big kick out of Tiffany and Chad being their names. Like, did you get any more
generic white people?
Annoying, generic. I loved it.
And she points out that, like, I hate the name fucking Tiffany.
Right?
Imagine if I was a grown fucking adult and my name was, Eustace or something that I absolutely fucking hated, I would just go change my fucking name.
Because it's a lot of work.
Well, it's a lot of work to live your life hating yourself too. So maybe they should turn that needle outward. I will say on the mention of Tiffany/Trinity, Trinity and Neo's relationship and romance in this movie was probably one of my biggest gold stars. I bought into it. They looked like a couple of people that really found mystery and attraction and comfort in each other and excitement. It was palpable, and I think both actors did an amazing job of making me feel that they were nervous around each other, but they liked each other, and it was so good. It was so good.
My literal favorite part of the movie, and I think what I consider the actual climax of the movie in my eyes, is in the coffee shop when they're both struggling to touch hands and like the forces are keeping them apart and they're just like reaching. Because I'm bought into this character drama of them. I'm like, oh, come on, do it. I'm like invested, and it was fucking super satisfying when it happens.
Yeah, and I'm right there with you, but that also leads into something that kind of, I mean, I'll save it for another, but as soon as they touch, just instant Deus Ex Machina.
Oh, like, sure.
It's never explained what is that? Why is everything blowing up now that they touched each other? Oh, well, the people that love each other, love will conquer all. Bullshit. That's not a real fucking answer. Give me a better answer.
Notice I'm not expounding on that and what comes after, but that part, that scene is fantastic.
Michelangelo-esque.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved Jonathan Groff, period. I am a big fan of Jonathan Groff.
Who is he? Which one is he?
The new
Smith in this one.
Oh, yeah. He did. It's not quite as like one-to-one as the guy we talked about from the last two who was possessed by him, but I really buy it, and he's written like Smith to a T that you can see it and you can buy it. He's a good 2.0 Agent Smith.
He's got the mannerisms down when he needs to try to show people that he can pull that off, but he doesn't stay there because he's evolved as a program should. Those that might not be aware, if you've seen Hamilton, he plays the King of England.
'Cause when push comes to shove, I will kill your friends and family to remind you of my love. Da 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 da.
So
nice.
He is in my bad, but only because like he's always such a smug little bastard in everything he plays. That I just don't like him in principle. But it's because he's a good actor, or he is just a smug little bastard in real life and plays himself in every role. But one of those two things.
Those are the kind of motherfuckers that he's annoying as fuck if you disagree with him, but when he's on your side, you're like, yeah, get him.
Right.
Get him. And he is very, as far as I've seen on social media, if I'm wrong, correct me, but he seems very, he and I align politically on a lot of things, I should say. He's very empathy-minded and very progressive with his politics online, so.
Like I said, he was probably just acting really well, and that's why he makes me hate him every time I see him.
Yeah, exactly. The Joe Pantoliano curse, like you're so good at playing a fucking, or Brad Dourif, you know.
Here's two quick ones. I wrote down gaslighting the movie, but I wrote that in the good column just because, Neo and his Smith in place to keep him in check, and the analysts that he goes to see, all keeping Neo on track. And back to the whole marketing thing. One of the things they say is sexy philosophy, and it shows Thomas Anderson on the toilet, like sitting there reading his phone.
yeah, perfect cut. That was a really good edit. Yeah.
I liked in general how it just didn't take itself too seriously. It just did.
Absolutely. That made me like it better. Yes. That made me see it as less pretentious. The fact that they were disastrously self-aware in this movie. Yes. They beat the shit out of their own movies, and I appreciate that.
Yep.
But there's also, from the creator's point of view, like, in the narrative of the movie, the executives are making them come back and make another Matrix movie. In reality, the executives are making them come back and make another Matrix movie. So there's this meta-level analysis going on, and not subtle subtext. It is just, I don't know if you call this subtext. This is just foretext.
Dirty.
Right.
So,
like, they changed the word movie to game. That was it, really.
Yeah, but every time we see the game, we see a flashback from the movie. Which, that will probably come up in another category.
I really like that once we get Neo back to reality, that what he did in the end of the third Matrix actually caused a machine civil war. That's a cool concept that they're introducing to this. Now you have humans working with the rebelling machines against the evil machines. That feels like an actual and sort of natural thing that would potentially happen when you have artificial intelligence. Are they all going to agree, if they're allowed to, if they're actually artificial intelligence, it's going to splinter, right? Like kind of like Agent Smith did. Agent Smith was a splinter off of the Matrix.
And fans of the Mass Effect series will remember this is a storyline in there too. It's kind of a side quest thing, or maybe it's a main quest, but either way, it's not the main purpose of the story. But that is super interesting to me because those of us that use like meat space and language, vocal language and shit like that, we wouldn't see any of this happening outwardly, externally. We would just see two robots sitting there, and then a nanosecond later, they're both trying to kill each other. And we don't know why. And the humans, and I love the fact that the humans were like, we still don't know exactly what happened. We just know that now they're fighting each other. And like, how do we get into, the brain of a robot consciousness and understand its motives? Or it doesn't explain itself like, well, I punched him because he punched me first. No, that's not how robots work. So I thought that was fun and interesting.
Right.
When they're freeing Neo, when they're actually, bringing him to his where they pull you out, and they're on the train, it's starting to come back to him, and like old Keanu is like takes up a kung fu pose for a second, but he's like swaying, and then someone just like knocks him out of the way.
Right?
Just little touches like that where he isn't fully himself yet, but it's like, it's kind of the equivalent of the he's starting to believe, but old man version. I appreciate little touches like that.
He's older. His body isn't capable of recovering as quickly as it used to be. That kind of thing. And I dig it. Yeah. I loved, speaking of old, Jada Pinkett Smith decided with the executive producers, they pushed really hard for her to be in the old person makeup. She really wanted Niobe to be an elderly version of herself, and that's one of the I think it was one of her stipulations for even signing on to do this movie. The only way I'm coming in is if Niobe is a really old woman. And I will say that the makeup, it's not bad enough for it to end up in the bad. It's not bad enough for it to end up in the ugly. It's not going to be in my good. But I will say that Jada Pinkett Smith did a great job acting around that makeup. I think that the makeup was trying to pull her into a lackluster performance.
I would agree with that.
And she pushed enough energy through that it came through as a good performance. She isn't the star of the show to me, but I think she did a really good job with what she was given, and you could tell that she had some passion for this character, and I see why she went to bat for it, because she felt like she had something to say, and it came out. And she wasn't a villain, much like the other humans in the other stories. She wasn't a clear-cut villain. She just had a different path. She had something to lose, so she didn't want to lose the things and the people that she loves, kind of thing. And I appreciate that. All right, somebody else give me a good.
I was happy with the new dojo scene, even though again it's just a straight-up callback, but even the way it starts, where you actually see where that dojo is it's in the middle of a lake surrounded by, cherry blossoms and all that. It's just
the whole Matrix leveled up.
Yeah.
Well, and code would get more efficient over time. Video games now in 2020 whatever look very different than they did in 20 whatever. So that makes sense. And that's one of my goods, and it dovetails nicely into this new Matrix leveled up, so there's also the counterproduct of when Neo is in the Matrix and he's learning how to kung fu fight and stuff, he's got to level up too. I mean, in the first couple fights, obviously, it's him not wanting to even be involved in the fight. But once he picks up on the fact that he's got to fight, his old tricks don't work anymore. He's kind of like, it felt like meta-narrative again about video games that, I might have played the video game Matrix 1, 2, and 3, but when I play Matrix 4, I've got to level up these abilities again. For some reason, my character has forgotten his abilities, or he's got to figure out the new system, and I appreciated that. Because it also makes sense. It's a different program. He's got to figure out how this program works mentally, kind of thing.
He did get a new power. He uses the Force now. He has Force block or whatever.
Remember, he could do that in
yes,
real life before.
Right, but sparingly and without reason. Now you buy it that, okay, this is the thing that he can do. It's clearly a thing he can do. Like, not
Wasn't
just
this the one that I kept mentioning that he was doing the Kamehameha too?
Yeah.
Yeah. For those that are unaware, maybe a phrase that will be more the Hadouken.
Yeah.
Both, you know, just channeling force like a fireball in front of you kind of thing.
I don't have to talk about Zion anymore. That's in the good column.
Yes, that is one of my good notes. I/O equals better. And it fits. I/O. It's input, output, on, off. These is basic computer science programming language words. This is what your power button is made of, is the I/O for I/O.
Yes.
Oh, it's perfect. That should have been what they called it right from the very fucking beginning.
I laughed out loud when I realized that that was the Frenchman, the Mavarengian.
Yeah. He didn't
Yeah, the Merv. Yeah, Smith calls him Merv.
Yeah, and one of those again where I still dislike the Frenchman, so he didn't make it into my good column, but he was much better in this one than he was in and he was funny in this one, and his anger was, I'm almost rooting for him to come back in Matrix 5 and give him a win. Give him at least one win. I don't know what it's got to be, but let him get something out of this. He deserves some good to come to that character.
And it's just it's his most energetic and best time on screen in the franchise, but it's based on what came before. Like, you have to know that to understand this, but it's just a delightful little, like, the down on his bad leg, fucking
literally wearing furs and with a grown out beard. Like, everybody, you're still in a society, man. Yeah, like, do they not have razor blades in your neighborhood? Like, what's going on, buddy?
He's just so mentally distraught by
your gang is that hard up where you can't afford razors, but you're buying guns. Priorities, man. Go get rid of like 5 bullets and get yourself a basic razor and go to town.
You know when you find something really awesome and you just want to like tell everybody about it?
like a cool rock
Oh yeah.
Or a great movie.
or a nice stick.
Well, that could be us, and you could share us with all your friends.
I want to share the rock, but I don't want to share the stick. Am I a weirdo that way? Like, I want to show you my rock, but my stick, you can't touch it.
That's not
Sounds
well.
dirty.
Why do you do this?
What I want you to do, bud, is get yourself a tape recorder and just go ahead and record yourself for a whole day.
You'd be surprised at some of your phrasing.
If my life was geared around the idea of don't let anybody touch my stick, it would have turned out differently. Let's just say that.
Right?
You should find cool rocks and share them with your local bank and Starbucks windows.
No, please don't. Please don't.
With the current
my
state of the
advice.
world, don't invite that kind of attention to yourself.
right.
Just get your coffee and move on.
Yeah. Wink, wink.
So let's say you listen to one of our episodes and you enjoy hearing what you heard, or you dislike what you heard. The best place to go about talking about this is on YouTube, is on Blue Sky, is on Insta, is on Facebook. But aside from these social medias, you know where we have the most meaningful conversations with our fans?
Well, that would be Discord. They're your favorite place on the internet to go rant and rave, possibly besides Reddit. We know y'all have one already. So why not just come be a part of ours? You can be like me, and you can have, like, I don't know, let me look right now. I have possibly like 7 to 12 like fandom Discords I'm in that I just ignore.
Exactly.
Come do that.
And I realized that I called our listeners fans, and all of a sudden I'm reminded that it's the relationship between us and our listeners is less of like a star and a fan, and more of like we're like an elderly person, and we're being helped down the street by the people that are nice enough to listen to the podcast. That's a bit more of an appropriate.
It's like, okay, we're talking today about Lady Hawk. Yeah, okay, Grandpa, let's get you back.
Interspecies erotica.
Oh God, they're doing the Muppet thing again.
You could also review us at any of the places you can find a podcast. We'd love to see your review, and if you do review us, we will read it on air.
Oh yeah, speaking of Kelly, I believe we have a brand new shiny review for you to read for us. Everyone gather around.
This review was given a while ago. I just don't think we ever got to reading it for everybody, and once you see what the review is about, you'll understand why. It's important for us to have this kind of message get out there in the world. And the review goes like this. They give us 5 out of 5 stars. Thank you. And it says, the Screen Share and Chill podcast is the podcast I've always wanted to start myself. One of the few things I love more than movies is talking about them with fun people. The hosts are great and compliment each other well. The pacing is also nice. Kelly has a very nice listening voice with a smiley face emoji.
Okay, now here's the thing, dear listener. You cannot tell Kelly this kind of thing. His head is already like so big he can't make it out of his apartment door. So
yeah, if I lean too far to one side, it just kind of topples over and I land on the ground. It's hard for me to get back up.
Wonderful review. Thank you for that. But let's not do any more like that.
Don't feed
let's
the
give
bears.
some compliments to
Or
me and Jamie.
Kelly has anxiety, and and he's an artist, so any compliment you give him just gets soaked up like a dried out leaf soaking up water from the soil. So please keep the compliments coming. But yeah, that was very nice. That was a very nice review. So thank you very much for that. Would you like us to read your words? And you know what? Don't think that we'll only read the 5-star reviews. If you give us a 1-star review, I'll fucking read it. Don't even.
I
try
can't
me.
wait.
Don't even try.
I can't
me.
wait for the first negative review for us to
Yeah, we
read.
got a 1-star, but they didn't actually leave any text. They just gave us a 1-star review.
Yeah,
And I'm
boring.
like, what a wasted opportunity.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so as long as it's not illegal, we'll read it on the air. If you like openly dox us, I'm not reading
Anyway,
my social security number.
give us some money, huh? We know you got some. Half of you people out there, it's just falling out of your pockets. So like, why not just give us some? Rent us a movie.
Yeah.
It costs.
Believe it or
you
not,
know,
this costs money. It costs us money to put on this. Not only does it cost us money, but we put a lot of time into it. We try to make a really good product for you. So, help us out. We're independent, small-time content creators. If you're enjoying our show, toss us $5, toss us $10. Hell, buy us a trip to Cancun. I've never been to Cancun. That would be nice,
Yeah, do you have your passport? Because you have to have your passport.
Yeah, who am I kidding? I can't leave the country. And
Key
come back
West.
safely. That's
Key
not-
West is in this country. That's a nice place. We'll take Key West.
Besides, yeah, if depending on when you go to Cancun, like if it's during the winter, you have a 50-50 chance of running into Ted Cruz. Oh, but you're supposed to give us money on Ko-Fi. We didn't say Ko-Fi. Go to
Yeah, Ko-Fi.com/screenshare. That's probably an important part of doing an ad. We are such professionals.
Yes.
We are so good at this.
consummate
Cue Christian
professionals.
Bale.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for listening to us, and we're sorry to interrupt your episode to do this. We don't enjoy doing this any more than you enjoy listening to it, but we got to get the word out there.
That's
we
a
gotta,
good one,
we
Kelly.
got to get more people.
Let them know how much we hate doing this.
Yeah, you know what? This little conversation we had, I regret every moment of it just because I hate. But yeah, believe that. Believe me, I hate talking on the mic. I never ever want to do that.
And now back to the show.
This is a random out of place thought, but when Neo is getting drunk and tries to fly, he sees the bird and he's like, "Doesn't look that hard," Like,
yeah, that got a laugh out of all of us on that.
All we are is dust in the wind, dude.
part of I love that's another one of those little things. One of the little things that I love is that, of course, he has like base repressed memories of being able to fly, and it's something that this repressed Thomas Anderson keeps trying to do. That's such a metaphor. Like I can fly. I want to fly, but things are holding me down. You know what I mean? It's like
but also think about the other meta narrative is that if you were a hacker and like you think of the Matrix as kind of like a video game, it's a very complicated video game. And Neo is one of the early hackers that he figured out how to hack it so he could fly and he could do all these other things that other programs couldn't do. Well, now he's in a different Matrix and he's like, well, I used to be able to hack so I could fly. That was a different program, buddy. Your old hacks for Matrix 1 don't work on Matrix 4. So if he actually were to jump off and have no support, he's just going to fucking die.
Yeah.
And the program will probably keep him alive and just resurrect him as another person. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that Sati made it into this movie. She was, if it's the same actor, even better. That's wonderful, but it's not.
Oh, really? It isn't?
Damn. My last good, and don't make this think that I didn't like anything else in the movie, but the last good I have listed is the music. I thought the music was really well done. I think they built off of a lot of the leitmotifs and themes from the Matrix series, the first 3 movies, but also it felt like it had an injection of Tron Legacy, that the Daft Punk soundtrack combo thing. Anybody that listens to electronica music, you're probably already familiar. That's one of those that burst into the mainstream a little bit, and it's widely loved. Most people I know love the Tron Legacy soundtrack. And this was very reminiscent that way. So it is a compliment when I say that it felt like The Matrix combined with Tron. Mwah, chef's kiss. Good job. And that's my last good.
So I'll use my last one to be what I consider the second main thrust of the movie that I thought was pretty good. The new Matrix is based on the power that is drawn from people when they are locked in a state of fear and desire. And if that isn't a profound sign of the times... Like
Palpatine, unlimited power.
Yeah, well,
everybody with anxiety in the world is going,
dude,
dude.
I mean, you can distill into so many things, but like, take the MAGA movement for an example. You have a constant fear of the other and a constant desire to return to something that only existed in magazine ads and TV shows from 60 years ago. Therefore, you'll never be able to do it. You will be in a constant state of fear and desire, and that is what channels all this bullshit. The analyst basically says, like the inverse of facts don't care about your feelings. Like, I'm going to use the fact that facts don't care about your feelings to keep you enslaved.
Yeah.
You people believe the craziest shit is one of the lines that Neil Patrick Harris has, and
there's something very literal about that. The feedback loop of constant fear leads to incredible heights of power.
Yes.
But it's all concentrated in one area. Not for the people that are feeling
right.
the fear. You don't get the power.
Yep.
The power goes up.
And just his whole monologue about that, I'm like, fuck, that is, once again, this is very, very, it's a profound statement of the times, and I appreciate that they're able to do that again. Like, this is the equivalent of what the entire Matrix represents in the first movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's the state of control, and how you control the control. I don't know a better way to say that, but that is that's like what
how you manage the control and manipulation of the masses.
There, yeah, exactly. And that's my second, like, what I think is the second major theme of the movie. And again, it's
I don't want to go too deep into this, but I will say, as somebody that studied a lot of like cognitive behavior patterns and social sciences and stuff like that, it is super interesting how power works and how power is like freely given. It is often not taken. It is given to people, and the way that our brains work this way, it is, and how we could snap. And somebody that is in high position of power today, if everybody in the world decided that we don't like this person anymore, they could be removed from power by tomorrow.
Yep. It's crazy
Just
to watch it happening. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, who knows what's going on in the world by the time this episode comes out? We don't record our episodes that far ahead of time, but it's just the reality of the news cycle is so fucking fast. Even if we decided we wanted to inject some politics into our podcast, by the time the episode comes out, even if it's only a week or a week and a half, it'll be old fucking news. So everybody will be going, what y'all talking about the Elon Musk Trump fight? That was like 16 years ago. No, that was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the bad.
One of my bads that nobody can fucking fight in this one. Nobody can aim. Bullets in the Matrix, they just go on a random, like a like a balloon being let out of air. It goes in a random direction. The bullets don't make any sense in this fucking world. Rifles are like crazy straws.
That's funny. The first thing I wrote in my bad column is more ports! ! Bigger neck holes. Just for
yeah. They got two now, so they can switch in and out easier.
And
they just happened to invent this new thing that fits one of the plot points they need to do. And it's the 2/3 of the way through the movie.
Yeah, it's like that. Then he's left
Chekov's
with
port. Is that what that is?
Yeah, there you go, Chekov's port. But it leaves him with this huge fucking thing on the back of his neck this time. I was just like, man, that's gotta suck to like sleep. You know,
yeah, imagine trying to look up. He's like Batman. He's got to tilt his whole body to look directly above him.
It looks very uncomfortable.
They would not survive long in the jungles. One of the bads that I just want to get out of the way now, the Morpheus change. That sucks. The new Morpheus seems like a nice guy. He does a good job with what's in front of him. He had an impossible job because Morpheus is as much the Matrix as fucking Neo.
Yep.
If Keanu Reeves did not sign on to do this movie, you know what you do? You don't include Neo in the fucking story.
Yep.
Just kill Neo. Just kill Morpheus off screen. Call this new guy a different fucking name. Even tell us he's got bits of Morpheus in his script and have him say things that Morpheus would have said. Just stop calling him Morpheus because he's not fucking Morpheus.
Yeah, that's actually the main thing in my ugly column is like, you could have done this differently. What I read is it's not that they didn't want Lawrence Fishburne, but like literally the script, they're like, no, we want to do this because we want we don't want it to be quote unquote Morpheus. We want it to be this script new hybrid program version. And I'm just thinking like, well, you could have called him in for some quick flashbacks, something, you know what I mean? Anything they talk
Have
about
a conversation between the two of them for a moment in virtual space or something like that. I don't care.
Yeah, man.
And just call him something different. So I stop trying to say, oh, this is Morpheus. No, it's not. He doesn't have any of the experiences of Morpheus. He doesn't look like Morpheus, doesn't sound like Morpheus. He doesn't believe the same things that Morpheus believed. What the fuck does he share with Morpheus? A name. That's it.
And it's kind of not fair to that actor too, because he's great. He was Dr. Manhattan in that Watchmen series.
Yeah.
He was the lead of the new Candyman movie. He's a great actor, and it's not fair to him because undoubtedly that's one of the only things I remember hearing is like, oh, well, that guy's not fucking Morpheus. It's like, well, the studio did that to this guy by putting him in those shoes and making him deal with that.
And I'm right there with, and I feel bad for saying this because it's not the actor's fault. The actor did a great job with what was in front of him. It's just unfortunately just a little tweaking, just calling him Morpheus. Every time they called him Morpheus, my brain would I'd get a little zap. Why did you do that? That's not Morpheus. Stop doing that.
Now, I said I liked the Frenchman's appearance. What I didn't like was the fight that accompanied that. It was brown. They were in a bad set. It's just a bunch of wood, like wood scaffolding, and slightly too long. And there's just like dust flying everywhere. It was just a boring set and a boring fight, and it didn't really do much for me at all. That was one of the ones where I was like looking at my watch, like, okay, all right, let's get going.
That was the one scene that they could have truncated a little bit. It was it wasn't necessary that much. We needed to see a couple of things, key plot points, like Smith showing up and the fact that Smith and these other programs are not in cahoots with each other. They're against each other too. Smith is his own device amongst himself kind of thing. But you could have told that story a lot quicker. And that's part of the problem is that, for example, Bugs, the actor that plays Bugs, the character Bugs, all of these are fine. Yeah. They're fine, but I don't care. What Matrix 2 and 3 did to me is it made me care even fucking less about every other human other than Neo and Trinity. Sorry, this is what your last movie did to me. I don't care. Show me more what's going on with Tiffany and Thomas.
I will dispute what you said about that being the one scene, because my final note, which I think is the most egregious thing that could have used a little trimming, is the motorcycle chase at the end with Trinity and Neo.
Oh, you were right. Yeah, I stand corrected. Those two scenes were
That thing, you could cut the time in half, because how many times do we need to see Neo use the Force and bounce people away? It happens like 12 fucking times. I get it. Come on, man.
Yep.
Let's do something
different. If you had Force push, you would use it 15 times right away to knock down the hordes of zombies.
If it was a video game and I was playing it, I wouldn't question that timeline, because you need constant... You know what I mean? But I'm not playing a video game. I'm not doing that. That's Neo doing that. Great for him. I'm glad he had a great time fighting all those bad guys. But can you please fucking spare me?
Great for him. I'm glad he...
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm glad we watched Neo stream his playing the motorcycle level. So that's great. But get on with it.
And I don't know, it's those action scenes like that where at least he's in the Matrix using his Deus Ex Machina. So we could excuse it as him hacking, sure, whatever, but you're right, they could have cut that. We got the idea.
It's the same thing over and over. screech to a halt.
And it's always him turning at a corner at a 90-degree angle, and as he's coming to a halt, he continues his force with his force push and then drives off to the left or to the right.
Right, and a car
he does
crashes
it all
next
over
to
again.
him. And then some bodies fall on the street and jump at him. And there's again and again and again. Fuck.
I mean, even the zombies falling out of the windows, what an interesting use of humans in the Matrix. Bravo to that morbid, creative vision. But they show it too much. Like, either make it happen, either make them get hit by one of those falling bodies, or let's move on. If Neo is able to dodge them, then I'm no longer concerned about them. You don't need to show me 15 more of it happening if we know that Neo is quick enough to dodge.
They at least fell in the car, but yeah, I'm moving that into my ugly column. That's my most hated part of this movie, is just the fact that that motorcycle fight just went on and on.
It's almost like they were like, the first hour and a half of this movie, we made you listen to a lot of talking and see a lot of subtle glances between two people. So now we're going to give you the boom, bow, bang. And I'm like, no, I was enjoying, like, I don't mind having the boom, bow, bang as long as you're, quick about it. Show me what I need to see and let's move on, man. I'm not 13 anymore. I don't want to watch a half-hour long fight scenes.
That's my last bad, which I now declare ugly.
My last bad is the incessant use of Deus Ex Machinas in this goddamn franchise. It is the biggest thorn in the side. Like, I want a little bit of mystery, so you don't need to explain every fucking inner working of every power he has, but like, it's, like I said, Neo and Trinity touching hands, as far as I remember, was not an explosive ability. They touched hands a lot. All over, and they nowhere ever did it explode. I understand that thematically, that it was like fireworks going off in their hearts and in their souls and in their minds, and I understand that it was so important for them to touch.
I can explain it. I can explain that one for you. I know it's not going to change your opinion, but it's because they had all this fear and desire built up, so they were charged this time when they touch. Right? It's not a normal touching. That's not a thing that just happens when they touch. But this time, since it's been decades of fear and desire, it's that build-up. Because of the elven rope, God damn it. That's why.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where I'm like, I get the tension. I get the emotional themes that are at play, but I don't get the literal explosion. Did Neo write a hacking program that allowed him to explode things if he and Trinity touch in this context?
The Matrix,
that's an oddly specific program.
The Matrix wrote that program. That's how they generate their power, by getting close but not touching.
If they actually touch in the Matrix, then it generates an explosion. They wrote that into the Matrix?
Yeah, because they keep them away.
Why did they write that into the Matrix?
It's like a constant state of nuclear fission about to happen, right? But it's like kept from happening, so it's this constant building of this energy, right? But if they touch, that's what makes the energy, is that if they touch, there's going to be an explosion. See, I could explain this.
Yeah, well, you're great job. You just pushed this right into the ugly. We'll be discussing that in the next.
I'm just saying. It doesn't mean you have to like it. I'm just saying.
No, yeah, I get you. And even if we were to explain one or two of these constant Deus Ex Machinas in the series, that doesn't, it's the prevailing theme. You could rate that up to the Messiah complex or anything like that. And then just to round me out, my last bad, and I did write it down. I didn't think I did, but Niobe's makeup at some points reminds me of Star Trek old makeup. Yeah. And anybody that's a Star Trek fan knows anytime they try to take a character and make them look quote unquote old, it is not anywhere near what an actual human being looks like when they get old. They suck at making people old.
Keep that in mind for when we watch Prometheus. You're going to have a fun time with that.
I'm in danger.
All right, JB, any other bads?
Nope, that is the end of my bads.
All right, it's time to talk about the ugly. We've already talked about both of mine, the lack of actual Morpheus, and I've moved the motorcycle chase into the ugly. So let's start off with Jamie. Let's hear some ugly.
My ugly is the aging effects on both Jada and Thelma. I thought they were awful. They look not only old, they look ancient. They look like they are in their hundreds, and their faces don't move right, and I hated everything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, the more I think about it, I see it. Like, it wasn't quite as bad to me, but maybe because I'm a Star Trek fan, and I'm used to seeing people act through shitty old person makeup.
And their acting was great. Their acting was amazing, but the makeup itself was horrible, and it took my attention away from the acting, which it shouldn't ever do.
Yep. What about you, Keith? How many uglies you got? You
we-
got just the 2, right?
Yeah, we talked
so
about
that's,
mine.
Everybody's done with all of their uglies except for me?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I have one more.
Oh.
I have one more.
Okay, go ahead, Jamie. Give me another one.
My
of yours.
other one is that this was too much information for one movie. Again, like that whole IO section probably could have been its own movie, short or something. It was just a lot of information in one movie, and it didn't need to. It bogged down the middle because of it. I didn't need it there.
They're trying to get us to care about the fucking humans again, and I just don't.
Right.
Whoa, I sound like a conservative.
But wait, what if they split it into 2 movies and then we had a big rave scene in IO?
No, thank
Would you
you.
like that
no,
more?
Thank you. No, I wouldn't have.
No, we need another Zionist rave orgy.
It goes back to that bad note that I had that it was 2 hours and 30 minutes. It could have easily have been a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you'll allow, I will let that dovetail into my only ugly, and that is too many flashbacks. I understand at the beginning when we're getting the flashbacks because thematically they made sense for Tom Anderson to be having flashbacks of his previous life that aren't necessarily the video game and how it's kind of fucking with his head.
Yes.
Totally makes sense. I love the way they did it. But there comes a point in the narrative where he accepts the background and we're still seeing these weird flashbacks.
Yes.
And it's not necessarily that we're seeing it
agree.
in his mind. We're just being shown it as the audience.
Right.
It
And
should have
I'm
been
like-
once he's brought out of the Matrix and into the real world again, we don't get any more of those flashbacks. There's like a cutoff for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what I found is that we're 50% of the way through this movie, and the movie is still showing us flashbacks of the first movie.
Right.
And I'm like, are you trying to literally, like, we can just watch Matrix 1. We can just have the characters in your movie sit down and we all watch the movie together and they comment. And that would probably be an entertaining time, sure, but why are you...
Yeah.
And then to do that in a movie that's 2.5 hours long.
Right.
What are you doing? Why are you wasting my time showing me the movie that obviously I've seen it. If I got to this point, I know what happened.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Full agree.
Because it does. It works. It's symptomatic of the 50 agent fight scene. It's like it's great and it works until it suddenly, screechingly, haltingly doesn't. Please stop
Right.
doing it.
Yep. All right, so those are our thoughts on the good, the bad, and the ugly for Matrix Resurrections, which I point that out because somebody made the point in an article I read that there are 2 people that get resurrected in this, not just one. So you just put the S at the end of resurrection.
Yeah, you just said that like Trump. Matrix Resurrections.
Oh, I thought I was saying it like Voldemort.
Same thing.
Anyway, so now it's time for us to talk about our 3-and-1 questions. The 3 questions that lead up to it. The first one is, what would be the promotional popcorn bucket for this movie?
Maybe a Simulate cup.
Yep.
Simulate coffee cup.
Oh, and make it one of those big, huge...
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be an interesting twist. It's got to have bullet time on the outside. You got to have some reference to bullet
It
time.
just says bullet time exclamation point.
Bullet time bargain. You get 2 for 1 or something.
Or no, it's Simulate featuring bullet time coffee. That sounds like a good name for a coffee.
Bullet time coffee.
It
Oh
does
my
sound
God,
like a
that's
good name
a business
for-
idea.
Yep.
Hey, listeners, we came up with the idea first. This is a copyright declaration.
Dude, you could see the commercial for bullet time coffee, right? You take 1 sip and then suddenly you're back in your chair.
Whoa! You moved like one of them.
Yeah.
And somebody says, what do you like the best about the coffee? And Agent Smith goes, it's the smell.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I had Simulate written in my good column. I just didn't say it. It's just it's a little hokey, but it's on the
Yeah,
nose.
but
Right.
the names
Still-
of the businesses are
Yeah.
all kind of little nods. Like I said, the Easter eggs, it's dense with Easter eggs.
Yes.
If you're the kind of person that enjoys a dense Easter egg movie, then sit down with one of those hour-long YouTube videos that goes into all of them. All right, if we replace the entire cast with Muppets, but we left one person as the human, who would the human actor be?
There's one correct answer to this.
I'm still with Jamie's declaration, I think, in the second movie, that there is a series of right answers, but there's only one wrong answer.
Right.
I'm sorry, Carrie Ann Moss, but Miss Piggy as Trinity
Yeah.
that is a lock.
Yeah.
We have to have Miss Piggy as Trinity. But what's your right answer, Keith?
It's the Frenchman is the only human. He's so upset and disturbed by these Muppets that he's extremely pissed off.
That would be brilliant. That scene would be incredible with him coming out and just yelling at everybody and being so angry.
Especially since he looks so Muppet-like with all that
away
hair.
with this?
Yeah, he does. He looks very Muppet-like. So he's like a more Muppet-looking than Muppet human, and the rest of them are Muppets, and it would just be.
As much as I love that choice, I will submit to you an alternative choice that Keanu Reeves, because the romance between Keanu and Miss Piggy, and how he would be taking it very subtly and seriously, and she'd be like, "I know," and flipping her hair and stuff.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, it would be delightful. I would enjoy seeing.
Are you saying Miss Piggy would ham it up?
I think even she would agree with that.
For a more serious answer that's not just focused on what Muppets we want to see playing other things, I think the analyst as the only human would be interesting.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
I could see it.
That would add like a level of meta-narrative
Right.
that is... Like, that's a serious choice. You know, that, like, the Muppets are still having... Their movie is still fun and funny, and they're doing animal and gonzo things, but the analyst coming in as somebody that's like, this is a simulation that he's created of Muppets so that he can analyze their suffering. Now the whole movie becomes kind of fucking dark.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's creepy.
Thank you. You're welcome. I am creepy.
Saying thank you and then you're welcome directly after each other and then telling me you're creepy after that was redundant. I could tell by the thank you, you're welcome. So our last question is, who is your MVP? Could be a person, it could be a character, it could be an actor, could be something esoteric like the set design or the lights. Who's your MVP, or what's your MVP?
I am going to go ahead and say that it is the original Trinity outfit from the opening, because I loved it that much.
Yeah, you sounded real excited about it when you brought it up. So.
It was just awesome. It was so kick-ass. I love it.
My MVP is the ballsy and calculated decision to make nostalgia and callback a plot point and have it actually be successful and not a complete fucking failure of member berries sort of thing. Like, it gets, for some aspects of it, as we discussed, kind of overstay their welcome slightly, but overall, it being an integral, like, point of the movie and part of the plot, and me not absolutely rolling my eyes at it and instead kind of enjoying it and liking it, I think it's a hard thing to do. That you could easily wind up in disastrous territory making that decision, and I would say they successfully pulled that off, and it seems hard to do. I don't know how they made that palatable, to be honest.
Yeah. That is both good choices. I can see both. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't think about these questions, our 3 questions. I don't think about them ahead of time. That's why I needed an extra minute to think about it. Cause like, I like to figure it out on the spot. So it's not something that's, I didn't research it. I'm just thinking about it. But now that I'm thinking about it, I have to say the romance between Trinity and Neo. And I guess you could say, I would want to share it between Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, because like, they saved this movie.
Yep.
If the two of them did not take this so seriously and really give it some real acting attention, like they put time and energy into making these roles really feel real. They felt like real people. Everybody else in the universe doesn't quite feel the same level of real as Neo and Trinity do in this movie. And it's due to the efforts of, probably some good writing and good ideas and good set production and all that shit, but really it comes down to those actors embodied those characters so well that they two of them do two-handedly, not single-handedly, but two-handedly forced me to care about the outcome of this movie. I wanted them to succeed. I wanted Neo and Trinity to get to know each other.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's an important aspect, and I really enjoyed that in this one.
All right, so aside from those 3 questions, the big question that we have to ask is, at the end of Matrix Resurrections, when the day is said and done, did you enjoy it, and would you give it a thumbs up?
You really want to do this? Here. Now? Yes. Okay, let's do it!
I know that it might sound like I probably am giving it a thumbs down through the whole thing, but I do give it a thumbs up. It was a decent movie. It wasn't anything that I'm like, oh my gosh, best movie ever, but it was decent, so thumbs up there.
Yeah, definitely give it a thumbs. Well, well, before I get there, I want to come up with... I forgot to mention one little tiny side thing that I noticed in this movie. I wrote down 4 messages that The Matrix Resurrections seems to want to tell us as the audience. 1, therapy is bad. 2, kids are fucking pointless.
I agree with that
I did
one.
enjoy that one.
Trinity just doesn't care. Her children are just road bumps, and they're small ones at that. 3, The Matrix is literally capitalism. If you have not picked up on that, that has been explained to you subtly before. Now it's just explicitly explained to you. The Matrix is capitalism. If you rail against the Matrix, you're rebelling against the idea of capitalism. I even put that quote in the chat. The thing about capitalism can even subsume criticisms of itself and learn how to capitalize off of that. And the last one was the 90s were better because everything just looked a lot more... Like, Thomas Anderson had a better time when he was in the 90s than when he was in the current day. The ending, I didn't care much about, but the beginning was so likable that this is kind of a soft one, but I will give it a thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up.
Perfect.
It's got enough enjoyable. It's what I would say clearly the best sequel in the Matrix franchise, because the last 2
Definitely
almost had full thumbs down, except for my thumbs up on the 3rd, which was a very weak thumbs up. This was
a marked step up.
Yes, yeah. It's a part of it is, again, what they tell you. Oh, the Matrix is what the fuck. It gave me some what the fuck is going on again, and I feel that's a crucial ingredient for the Matrix, and they recaptured that. It's not perfect, but yeah, thumbs up from me. It's nice to see it go out on somewhat of a high note where we dipped pretty hard in the middle, the last 2 ones.
So I mean, I'm excited about seeing Jamie. So you didn't like? I mean, you like this movie, but you don't like the idea of another one being made. Am I picking up on that right?
Yeah, I'm just over the Matrix. I'm over it. What are you going to do that's new? You got
a year.
You'd have to convince me by doing something that makes it something fresh and exciting, as opposed to redoing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I need to see something new and different too.
Yeah, and this movie they leaned on that. The fact that how do you do something like revolutionize it again?
Right.
You want me to revolutionize media over and over again? You realize how fucking lucky I got to do it the first time.
Well, and
yeah.
But yeah, if you look at it too, like, the story is pretty much complete. Like, where are you going to go? How are you not going to just rehash the same concept for a 5th time plus the extras?
I saw a comment on Reddit that was something like, show me a prequel of Morpheus's early days. Show me a prequel of the first cycle of humans coming to life. Show me a prequel of the original war of the Matrix between the machines and the humans. These kind of things the audience would love to see, but they're too fucking scared to do it. They're just going to do Neo and Morpheus all over again.
Show me something that has nothing to do with Neo or Morpheus or Trinity.
Yeah.
Show me fresh faces doing fresh stuff.
Like we
I'll
said
watch
with
that.
Alien, the franchise has to survive the main character not being in a movie in order for it to be a real franchise. Right. Otherwise, it's just the Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones isn't Indiana Jones without fucking Harrison Ford.
But also, don't just take and rehash the same storyline and change the names and places. Like, don't do that either.
Right.
Yep. It sounds like our thoughts on The Matrix as a series might be worth exploring. I don't know. I mean, do we want to rate the whole thing right now, or do we want to do that in a separate episode?
I think we could do a separate thing on that. We're at an hour and 11 minutes. So I don't want to sit here and divide.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it would be a long conversation or a short one. That's why I figured I'd just bring it up now. Is it worth having a half-hour conversation, or should we just get it out of the way right now?
I mean, the first one is great.
I think it could have been.
So how about this? We'll just go down the line. Thumbs up or thumbs down, Matrix series? Keith, go. The whole series.
Overall, yeah, thumbs up.
Jamie.
Thumbs down. It could have been one movie. Kelly?
I will give it a thumbs up because the first movie was so amazing and the fourth movie was pretty good. So it was worth it.
So 2 of the 4 movies were good.
Yeah, the two movies in the middle weren't offensive. They just were boring. And the first one was so fucking amazing that I can't imagine not having it around, so
Yes.
it's worth the price.
The way I'm treating the question is it's either you watch no Matrix, and that includes the first one, or you watch all of it. Yes, watch it so you can have seen the first
See,
one.
and I'm treating it as the question that we posed in the first movie, which was there a need for extra movies?
I would agree with you that there was not a need for any of these movies to be made.
That
past
question
the
that I
first
did ask in the first question, Future Kelly has answered the question that no, the first movie was fine.
Yep.
We did not need 2, 3, or 4. I'm glad 4 came out too, but if you were to give me the choice of the Matrix ending at 1 and then fans just taking it from there, that sounds better to me. But whatever. What do we know? We wouldn't have made billions of dollars, apparently. We're not successful capitalists. Oh
no!
What a surprise.
I'm so sad about that.
Hey, you know what? My pocketbook is a little sad about that, but at least I can sleep at night.
Right.
So.
Free your minds, dear listener. Until next time, we have been Screen Share and Chill. I'm Keith.
You go, Jamie.
I'm Jamie. I'm always last.
I know I don't like that you're always asked, but somehow it just got stuck like that, and I'm trying to.
Who are you? Who are you, sir? Who are you? What's your name? How did you get here? Who
I'm trying
are
to break out of the Matrix. Everybody knows I'm Kelly. I say it at the very beginning. So if you got to this point, and you don't remember. Yes, I'm Kelly. So thank you for joining us. It's been a lot of fun talking about the Matrix series with y'all. And next time we go back to Alien and we do Prometheus.
Yes,
that should be a lot of fun. But we do have an episode coming up in between where we get to have our good friend Adam back.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Lord of the Rings again.
Because we haven't done that enough.
Yeah, no, I
bashing our heads against the Matrix and Lord of the Rings. Dear God, help us.
I am so looking forward to that conversation
I am too.
with Adam. He's always a pleasure to have on. So,
yeah.
Look forward next week. But for this week, thank you very much for joining us, and goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. I'm imagining the low Miss Piggy voice when she's like, really? Tiffany?
Yeah.
I'm going to call the police. You go ahead, call them. Call anybody you want. They can't do anything to me. Not anymore. And nor can